Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly tech update, the show that explores the newest, coolest, and craziest side of tech available on the interwebs. I am your tech leader, Ray McNeil. Coming up on the program today, the Mars helicopter Ingenuity has taken flight on the Red Planet not once, but twice. TCL's latest concept phone combines a folding screen and a rollable one, all in one device. Happening in this week's What The, a man wins the Husband of the Year award by grabbing a bobcat off of his wife that was attacking her and flinging it into the front yard. And of course, we'll wrap up the program with this week's Moment of Joy. All that and a whole lot more coming up on today's edition of your weekly tech update next. Last week, NASA accomplished another first, the first ever helicopter flight on another planet. And now, the second ever Mars helicopter flight is in the books. NASA's little Ingenuity helicopter took to the skies above the Mars Jezero crater again in the early morning of April 22nd. That was just 3 days after making the historic first powered controlled flight on a world beyond Earth. Last Monday's 39-second debut flight was a straight up and down trip that took Ingenuity just 10 feet off the dusty floor. The helicopter team pushed the 4-pound, 1.8 kilogram rotor craft a little harder during the second test that was 52 seconds, which lifted off at 5:33 a.m. on the 22nd. Go big or go home. The Mars helicopter successfully completed its second flight, capturing an image with its black and white navigation camera. That came from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory on Twitter. It also reached a new milestone of a higher altitude and longer hover and lateral flying as well. The flight plan called for Ingenuity to climb to 16.5 feet this time, hover, tilt slightly, and move sideways for about 6.5 feet or so. NASA's Perseverance rover watched all the aerial action from about 210 feet away, just as it did last week for the first flight. Imagery and other data captured by the six-wheeled robot started coming down to Earth shortly after the second flight. Ingenuity is a technology demonstration designed to show that aerial exploration is feasible on the Red Planet, despite the thin atmosphere of Mars. Helicopters could become common elements of Red Planet missions in the future, all thanks to Ingenuity's pioneering work. The Little Chopper and Perseverance landed together on February 18th. On April 3rd, Ingenuity deployed the rover's belly and began prepping for its month-long flight campaign. The team plans to conduct 3 more flights in the 2 weeks that they have left. These flights will get progressively more complex and ambitious, and the final 2 will likely be really adventurous, the team said during a news conference earlier in the month. Perseverance is supporting Ingenuity's efforts, serving as a communications relay between the solar-powered helicopter and its handlers here on Earth. The rover is also documenting the historic aerial campaign, as the amazing video of Ingenuity's first flight shows. But Perseverance needs to start focusing on its own mission soon, which is why Ingenuity's flight campaign must come to an end in early May. However, if we have seen anything from past Mars missions, if there is a device on Mars that Earth can control, we will put it into action. The rover will hunt for signs of ancient Mars life in Jezero, which hosted a big lake and a river long ago, and collect samples for future return to Earth. Perseverance also carries another technology demonstration, an instrument called MOXIE. That's the Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment. We'll just call it MOXIE. It can generate oxygen from the carbon dioxide dominating the Martian atmosphere. Scaled-up versions of MOXIE could help human explorers get a foothold on the red planet. That comes from NASA officials. And that dream got a little closer to reality on Tuesday, April 20th, when MOXIE actually produced oxygen for the first time on Mars. Remember when Mom said you'd go nowhere playing video games? Well, who's laughing now? Who would have thought nights in front of the TV screen and a PlayStation could one day lead someone to becoming an Olympian? That goal is now achievable after the International Olympic Committee announced recently a new virtual Olympic series. Motorsports made the cut with a Gran Turismo and FIA partnership. Specific details on the Olympic Gran Turismo series aren't available quite yet, but the committee said each virtual sport will follow the sport's respective publisher platform. The series may end up a lot like FIA-sanctioned Gran Turismo sim racing leagues. The events will take place starting May 13th and run through June 23rd, ahead of the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Essentially, the series will hype the Olympic Games while reaching out to a younger audience. The goal is to get as many people involved as possible, with each sport responsible for creating the virtual Olympic stage for the Games to be held. That shouldn't be too hard, noting esports has exploded in popularity in recent years. Aside from the FIA Gran Turismo partnership, the committee also announced that the World Baseball Softball Confederation, Union Cycliste Internationale, World Rowing, and World Sailing organizations will also each participate in the Digital Olympic Games. Oh man, this is getting crazy. The U.S. Navy is expanding its deployment of a new laser weapon while also preparing to utilize a more powerful laser. The Navy is arming more destroyers with its non-lethal Odin system. Meanwhile, the service will install a stronger laser, the high-energy laser and integrated optical dazzler and surveillance, otherwise known as Helios, on the destroyer U.S. Preble later this year. 3 guided missile destroyers carry the Odin right now. By the end of 2021, 6 destroyers will adopt the laser, with 2 more to follow in subsequent years, per the U.S. Naval Institute News. As a non-lethal weapon system, Odin is designed not to kill and destroy, but instead blind and break. The laser is meant to zap electro-optical sensors like digital video cameras and infrared cameras aboard drones, preventing remote operators from guiding them and using the cameras to gather intelligence. Even relatively low-powered lasers can permanently damage camera sensors. Helios, on the other hand, is a considerably more powerful laser with bigger ambitions. The weapon can blind camera sensors like Odin, but the Navy hopes it's powerful enough to destroy incoming cruise missiles as well. U.S. Navy cruisers and destroyers all have a limited number of vertical launch silos, each capable of carrying anti-air, anti-missile, anti-ship, and anti-submarine missiles and rockets. The Navy must carefully weigh offensive versus defensive weapons when loading these silos. The more defensive missiles a ship carries, the fewer offensive missiles it can bring along for the ride. The Navy hopes Helios could become an effective anti-missile system capable of downing incoming subsonic and anti-ship cruise missiles like the Russian SSN-27. It's also known as the Sizzler. Helios could zero in on incoming cruise missiles and torch them, focusing the laser's extreme heat on the warhead sensor or control surfaces. If Helios works, it would provide the ship operating it with an anti-missile system with a theoretically unlimited number of shots. That would allow the ship to carry fewer defensive missiles and pack more missiles with an offensive punch.